Welcome back, JCW fans. I am Kendo, and this is Lunacy Recap Reviews. In this episode, I will be going over Lunacy number 69, airing February 5th, 2026. This episode featured Joe Dombrowski and Veda Scott on commentary, and the ring announcer was Mark Roberts. If you could please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button and hit me with a like, that would be awesome. If you haven't already, please subscribe. It definitely helps get this video out to more people. Be sure to stick around to the end of the video, and I will be giving my overall thoughts and opinions and rating on the show. With all that said, let's go ahead and get right into this thing. So this week's episode opens with Big Vito in Vince Russo's office telling Vince Russo about the time that he had last night. Russo goes on to say he doesn't give a shit about any of that, and that he's pissed off about what happened last week with basically Big Vito putting out the hit paying PCO to do the job. Vince Russo basically says that's completely unacceptable. That's not what they're here for. They both bicker back and forth, accusing each other of secret relations behind each other's backs, you know, friendships, etc., whatever. Vince Russo goes on to say, look, this shit's over. There's going to be no more hits put out on anybody. That type of thing is completely unacceptable here. Vito tells him, hey, what happened to the old Vinny Ruru? You need to relax and have a cream soda. So basically then he storms out. Kerry Morton comes in. I think it's funny that Big Vito ends up frisking Kerry Morton. He says, hey man, you got a meeting with the big guy. You got to get checked out first. Basically in this segment, Kerry Morton just essentially accuses Vince Russo of putting Matt Cross up to attacking him the past few weeks. Vince Russo tells him, hey, that's just wrestler paranoia. Why don't you ask your father, Ricky Morton, about that? I had nothing to do with Matt Cross. He ends up giving him a United States title shot. Tells him, go prove your worth, basically. Okay, in the first match will be Kerry Morton, and he will be taking on the JCW United States Champion Facade. This match is basically to Kerry Morton to prove himself to Vince Russo, basically. As you can see, Kerry Morton not giving Facade the chance to finish his intro and immediately starts to go on the attack. Facade tries to fire back, quickly gets shut down. This match is kind of a shorter one. Most of the offense does go to Kerry Morton. Facade is able to get a few little things off. Nice little springboard there, but again, quickly shut down. Kerry Morton takes it to the corner. A couple quick stiff kicks. Literally kicks the shit out of him in the corner. Goes for a big, I like this move here. I don't know what you would call it. Maybe like a springboard suplex or something. Goes deliver a big knee. Facade goes for a quick roll up. Only gets a 2 count. This time goes for, a big enziguri off the middle rope there. Goes for that big time kick we've seen him use a few times. Does manage to get it, but instead of a pinfall, some revenge from last week's cheap win. Ninja Mac comes out. Match ends in a no DQ. So we assume Facade is still the champion because of the way the match ended. Kerry Morton's left in the ring. He notices that Matt Cross happens to be out in the crowd. He gives the chase to Matt Cross, and they run to the back. And again, here is your champ, Facade. Okay, after that match, we cut to a segment backstage with Big Vito. Oddly enough, in the bathroom again. He's got the wallets of the Brothers of Funstructions, and he's making some allegations about how they're tied up in the mafia families, and he's basically going to expose them tonight and show the world for what they truly are. I guess we'll see what happens there. We next get a promo backstage with Cowboy James Storm. James Storm is essentially telling Mr. Anderson, you know, the last few matches, I've let my anger and my emotions get in the way. This time it's for the title. I'm going to channel those emotions and use that anger to take the win. And basically, when you're staring up at the lights, the last thing you're going to hear is those catchphrase 5 words, sorry about yo damn luck. All right, it jumps to another backstage with Russo in his office. Russo seems to be on the phone with, I'm assuming is his child. He basically makes Big Al wait. Big Al says, you know what, never mind, and storms off. All right, match number 2 is the French-Canadian Frankenstein PCO, and he will be taking on Mike Derriere, aka Mosh Pit Mike, the man of 1,000 gimmicks. Mike coming out looking like the Mountie, cuts a quick promo saying, I'm not the Mountie, I'm a Quebecer. I'll go ahead and let you wrestling fans piece that one together. Pretty much basically getting into PCO's head, trying to do some mind games. Mike gets a little bit of offense right off the jump, tries for the shoulder tackle, tries for the second shoulder tackle. PCO like a brick shit house, he ain't budging. Again, just like last week, this match is kind of just a squash match. I do believe Mike gets in a little bit more offense than Suicide did, but not too much. Nice little rolling senton into the corner, followed up by some vicious hammer fists. Nice forearm into the corner, delivers a big DDT, kick to the head. I think this one's about to wrap up pretty quick. Yeah, very big man to be doing that moonsault. Ref counts to 1, 2, 3. And just like last week, here's your winner, PCO. So the next segment is backstage with the Brothers of Construction. Ruffles freaking out about Vito exposing them. Yabo says, look, if he knows what's going to happen is what's going to happen. We basically need to focus tonight because we have a tag match against the Outbreak. And Raffle's like, yeah, you're right. I need to get my head straight. It then cuts backstage with the amazing Maria and Hollywood. The cameraman asks Hollywood, are you happy your mother's back? She says, yes, I'm glad to have my family who truly has my back. She then gets jumped by OVW superstar J-Rod saying, hey, you took my spot. You slept your way to the top. And for that, you are owed a receipt. So we'll see. I guess a match will happen. The next segment is backstage with Mr. Anderson, and he's basically telling Cowboy James Storm if they need to have learned anything from the last 4 matches, is that both men leave battered and bruised. This match is basically for all the marbles. This is the big one, and he requests that they basically do this match alone, no outside interference. He basically is accusing the Cowboy of having Matt Cross interfere with their last matches. He then says that he guarantees he's going to win this time and that the Cowboy will not be leaving the same way he entered this match. So, big words. We'll see what happens in the title match, I guess. Another backstage segment with Big Vito. He's on his phone putting in some sports bets. Jasmine storms in and she's like, hey, what the fuck? You injured my dudes. You got me here all alone now. She ends up smacking him. Big Vito basically goes on to tell her, look, bitch, I told you what's going to happen if you put your hands on me. You need to watch your back basically now because you're in some big shit. I told you not to put your hands on me again and you did it. And she says, what, are you going to rough me up? You're going to beat me up? That's why you got me here all alone. And he kicks her out and just tells her to watch her back. Okay, the next segment is the JCW Women's Champion, Hollywood Haley J. She's coming out, cutting a promo. She's pissed off about getting attacked backstage by J-Rod. She tells her to get her big, strong, stupid ass out to the ring right now. I'm not sure if this was supposed to be a sanctioned match or just an all-out brawl, but that's basically what it ends up turning into. These two just go at it all over the place, as you're going to see. Hollywood delivers a nice meteora off the ring apron there. J-Rod just a powerhouse, though. She ends up dominating the champ. I am anxious to see where this storyline goes. It'll be a nice, strong heel opponent for the champ, I do believe, if they do it the right way. Again, this match just ends up spilling out to the ringside, then goes over the barricade into the crowd. Now they're all the way in the back of the building. They literally fight almost all throughout the whole building. Try to get some weapon involved there. Looked like J-Rod was trying to hit her with a chair. Hollywood distracts her with something, jumps right over the barricade, and they're back at it again. At least they're making their way back towards the ring now. And again, J-Rod just putting a hurting on the champ. I think what happens next is, the Amazing Maria ends up coming out, and she tries to save her daughter. And for her efforts, she gets a big hit and ends up knocking out Amazing Maria. J-Rod stands over the champ and her mother, 2 generations of JCW female stars. Again, I'm anxious to see what happens with this big powerhouse, J-Rod. Next, we get Vince Russo talking to the mystery opponent, saying, hey, tonight is the night. We're going to reveal to the world. This is supposed to be Vince Russo's guy, so I guess we'll see. Then we get another segment with Big Vito walking into a bathroom again, and we see Jasmine St. Clair laid out by none other than Mickey Knuckles. Big Vito pays her off, assuming another hit. Mickey Knuckles ends up telling him, hey, you've paid me, but later on I'm gonna go ahead and get that tip. So we'll see. Maybe a relationship with Mickey Knuckles and Big Vito. That would be funny. Vito tells Jasmine St. Clair, I told you not to mess with me. This is what you get, bitch. Before Big Vito leaves the bathroom, we see the clown paint of Violent J on the mirror, and we hear Chicken Hunting playing again. More mind games like last week. Then we get Jeeves introducing Caleb Conley, and his opponent will be none other than Cocaine. This match is going to be for the contract for the not the United States, but the World Heavyweight title. Cocaine putting that contract on the line that he won last week in the ladder match. This was kind of a slow-paced match, if I do remember. Caleb Conley just trying to wear down Cocaine there. Cocaine breaks out. Cocaine does get a little bit of offense, but I think most of it goes to Caleb Conley. Again, very slow pace, trying to wear Cocaine down. Delivers a nice shoulder tackle there. Cocaine able to mount a little bit of offense. Nice little hip toss followed up by armbar there. Big slap to the face. Going for something there, but it seemed like Caleb Conley broke it up. Nice big chop. Trying to go old school Undertaker, but that ends up failing for him. Caleb Conley trips him up. Delivers a big time stomp. Another smack. Well, no, this was a retaliation smack. Goes for the big kick there, but no luck. Clothesline, goes for the 3, only gets a 2 count. Locks in the sleeper hold again, trying to wear down Cocaine. Cocaine trying to mount some offense here. Couple big elbows, little jawbreaker. Another slap. A lot of slaps in this match. And there's another. Caleb Conley going for a big time suplex. Cocaine gonna block. Delivers a couple shots to the rib cage there. Nice headbutt. Cocaine going for a nice diving lariat and delivers. Nice. I think this is where the match is about to start going south. Both men laid out. The ref giving the 10 count. Cocaine trying to work himself up. He ends up to his feet first, but to no luck. Ducks under Caleb Conley. Big time spinning sidewalk slam there. He was about to do some of the cocaine, it looked like, but Jeeves hops in and hits cocaine with that briefcase, causing the match to end in a no DQ, or excuse me, not a no DQ, causing the match to end in a DQ. About to deliver that coke slam, but Caleb Conley ends up saving him. Dumps cocaine to the outside. Cameraman almost got taken out. Now here's where we get a big plot twist. Caleb Conley realizing what happened. Nice little spinning backhand to Jeeves. Delivers. Oh my God. The smoking hammer. Ring rat gets pushed on her ass for luck. Another one to Jeeves. I think he ends up hitting him with like 5 of these. It's then revealed because oh my goodness. This is 3 so far. Poor Jeeves. I hope Jeeves is okay, man. You'll see here in just a minute, they end up carrying him out on a stretcher. But before that happens, Ring Rat's trying to relieve some of the tension with some adult favors there, if you will. But for her actions, he's like, no. Caleb Conley says, get up, bitch. And here's one for you. Nice little spinning backhand to the Ring Rat. As Caleb Conley celebrates, we then see Vince Russo hit the stage. And now it's abundantly clear that the mystery man is Caleb Conley. Vince Russo approves. And just for good measures, another one straight to fucking Jeeves' head. Couple referees come out. They got the stretcher ready. They're going to put Jeeves on, and you can see the approval of Vince Russo again. So now we know who the mystery man is, and I stand corrected. It was not Big Vito. It was Caleb Conley this whole time. So who knows? Probably big things coming for him since he's got the push of the boss. He does end up coming back into the ring one more time. They're trying to get Jeeves out. Dumps him extremely hard right there. Jeeves already got the neck brace on. Drops him one more time. Again, my thoughts and prayers go out to the man serving Jeeves, but this was just unacceptable. Vince Russo very happy about it. Okay, the 4th match is the Outbreak, and again, Barnabas cut a little Road Dogg promo, which I thought was funny. And the Outbreak will be taking on the JCW Tag Team Champions, the Brothers of Funstruction. This one starts off with Yabo and Jackson, both men attempting a couple unique pinning combinations, I guess you would say. I always like when these two teams get together just because I've said it before, the theatrics are fucking great with these two. But yeah, like I said, a couple unique pinning combinations. Yabo with the big tie, but it doesn't seem to affect the Jackson. He's a zombie, you know, it takes a lot of damage to kind of basically hurt the undead. The brothers do a cool little 3 elbow drop combination there. I thought that was a nice little spot. Ruffo trying to showboat, but ends up getting taken out by Abel. Jackson with a nice splash into the corner, and then Abel with one as well. These zombies, man, they move slow, but when they get going, let me tell you, man, they can mount some crazy offense. Looks like they were going for their finisher, as above, so below there. Ruffo shuts that down, ends up knocking Jackson off the top. Yabo delivers a big clown boot there. Jackson whips him. Nice little spinning uppercut. I don't know if Yabo was going for the eat the feet, but it looked like Abel was literally trying to eat the feet. This one ends up getting spilled to the outside, which eventually they do go into the crowd. And just kind of like that, Haley J and J-Rod, this match, it basically goes all over the place. I do believe the referee does end up ringing the bell, and this match ends in a no contest, basically probably a double count out, I would imagine, because it is a title match. It's not no DQ or nothing like that. So yeah, basically a double count out. So the Brothers of Construction will remain champs, but obviously this fight is far from over because these two teams are just going at it hardcore. Again, they fight all over the arena. It ends up spilling to the outside and going outside of the building. The show ended up going to a break, but when it came back, you see that the Brothers of Construction and the Outbreak are now out in the parking lot, and the brawl continues to go. Yeah, these two teams are just going at it hard. I feel like there's going to be another title match, maybe no DQ or falls count anywhere, something to that nature. I look forward to seeing that in the future. All right, match 5 is the main event featuring Mr. Anderson, and he will be taking on the Cowboy James Storm. This match is for the now vacant JCW World Heavyweight title. This one starts before the ring announcer Mark Roberts could even finish the announcements. Mr. Anderson tries to attack right away, but Cowboy is channeling some of that aggression he was talking about earlier and ends up stomping him down, delivering a nice enziguri there, elbow drop. I do believe this one goes to the outside a little bit, but unlike the last few matches, they do keep this one in the ring for the most part, which I did like because this is a title match. It goes back and forth. You know, neither man really take the upper hand too much. I had to give it to somebody. I'd probably say Mr. Anderson for the most part, because as you see, once it gets back to the ring, basically Mr. Anderson is gonna attempt to just wear the Cowboy down, man. Delivers a few sleepers. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but you'll see there, nice atomic drop. What I liked about that is Cowboy didn't even sell it at all, so who knows, must have a good cup. But the chop block is the start of the downfall right there. Mr. Anderson delivers a chop block to the knee, pretty much damaging the Cowboy's leg. Stomps him out a little bit in the corner, delivers a nice kick, goes for the 3, only gets a 2 because this is a title match. The Cowboy's not going to go out that easy. So basically what he's trying to do is just wear him down. This is what I was talking about before. He's just going to wear the Cowboy down as much as he possibly can. And as you've seen, he's already started working on that leg, and now here he is working on that leg again. Basically what that's going to do is prevent the Cowboy from delivering that last call super kick. If you can't walk, you're not going to be able to deliver that kick. Again, here he goes working on that leg. Very strategic, if you ask me. I mean, you know, in the promos, Mr. Anderson did say that the Cowboy was not going to walk out the same. So maybe this was his plan from the start. Maybe he truly wants to just destroy the Cowboy. Both men hit a double clothesline. They end up being out for a little bit. The ref tries to count the 10. Both men get to their feet. Atomic drop delivered to Anderson. Nice spinning clothesline. Big time clothesline there. Cowboy tries to run in with a head of steam, but is blocked with an elbow. Then Mr. Anderson gets the backstabber. Cowboy goes for the 3. Only gets the 2 because Mr. Anderson grabs the ropes. Goes for that super kick, but just a little bit slow. Maybe that would be because of the damage caused to the leg. I think this one's about to wrap up shortly here. Mr. Anderson's going to deliver that rolling senton. He goes to get the beer bottle and he's going to take a shortcut, but the ref gets involved. He dumps out the beer, goes to hit him with the bottle. The ref tells him, no, this is not a DQ match. Here's where it gets shifty. He kind of hits him with an Eddie Guerrero. He distracts the referee, blasts him with the new title belt. As the ref distracted, didn't see it. Counts to 1, 2, 3. Cheap win if you ask me, but it's a heel, so that's what you get. Here is your winner and the new JCW World Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Anderson. Congratulations, bub. But we'll see. Cowboys gonna have to make a comeback now. Now here's where it gets real sketch. Match is over, and Mr. Anderson steadily delivering damage to that already bruised leg. This is what he was saying when he said that the Cowboy is not going to leave the same. He ends up just beating the shit out of him, ends up throwing the referee. Not really a good look for the new champ, but it is what it is. I hope that the Cowboy can make a full recovery and come back for a rematch. The show basically ends this way. Mr. Anderson beating down Cowboy on the stage, and that's pretty much the end of the show. Okay, so overall I thought it was a pretty good show. A couple quick notes I did want to go over. Mr. Mark Roberts, just remember when you are doing ring announcements, always remember to say the following contest is scheduled for one fall. Seems like you forgot that one every time. Another episode with lots of big Vito segments again, very Vito heavy. Also, a lot of Vito in the bathroom. Vito spends a lot of time in the bathroom, I've noticed. Not sure what's going on with that. Another thing I noticed is Veda Scott at the beginning of the show did say that there would be a Coach's Corner. Unless I missed it, I did not see an episode of Coach's Corner this week. I'm not sure why there was only 5 matches. I'm not sure if possibly they're booking this like a Triple H PLE. That sounds kind of funny, but also with the 5 matches, 3 out of the 5 ended in a no contest. I don't know. I just, maybe could have done a little bit better there. But other than that, I had no major complaints with the show. I love seeing the Brothers of Funstruction versus the Outbreak. I also love seeing Kerry Morton in the ring, Cocaine, Caleb Conley, all great, competitors to see in the ring. Overall, I would give the show a 7 out of 10. It would have got a better rating had there not been so many goddamn backstage segments, or at least break them up a little bit, even if you have to shorten the matches some. If you can, please give this video the big thumbs up. Give me that like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. It helps get this video out to more people. Till next week, I hope you guys like the show. Please let me know what you thought about this week's episode of Lunacy in the comments, what you liked about the matches, what you thought they could do better, your overall thoughts and opinions just in general. Till next week, I am Kendo. Peace out and whoop whoop.